Check this out. Now, I've said many times that I may not have been blessed in my TV and film career, but I have been abundantly blessed in my martial arts life. Let me explain. You see, working in television, movies, doing music videos, talk shows, news stories, etc., and so on, working at Marvel Comics, DC, Archie Comics, well, it's Archie Comics, but it's really the Red Circle line, and the Thunder Agents under John Carbonaro. Well, doing all that, you get to meet some interesting people, some interesting celebrities, and so on. I gotta tell you though, the folks I meet in the martial arts, yeah. A lot of the folks I meet in the martial arts are just what some people would call larger than life. Whether it's their skills, their personalities, the things that they do, or the things that happen around them, you know what I mean? And when you tell folks about these things, they look at you like, yeah, right, you making that up. That's something you read in one of those comic books or in some movie you saw. No, it's all true. They actually did X, Y, and Z, or I actually saw this thing happen. In fact, I told you about one of those things. I gave an example with Grandmaster Woodrow Fairbanks, and believe me, concerning Grandmaster Fairbanks, there's a lot more of those. Well, I have another one for you. It was some years ago, and I was at my big brother, my young man, William Mallory's dojo, waiting for a promotion test to begin. I was on the other side of the dojo, going over some techniques with some other guest black belts he had invited, to be part of the testing panel. Now, in the Auto Harango, we place a lot of emphasis on chi power, or ki, whatever you want to call it. It's understanding your internal energy, developing it, utilizing it, etc., and so on. Most of us are what folks would call ki sensitive. In any case, see, I had my back to the door when I suddenly felt a strong increase in energy. It felt like someone had increased the power on an electricity transformer. When you're standing next to one of those things and you could feel the electricity going through the air. I turned around and saw what I first perceived as a giant. This guy was big, and he was wearing all black, and he had his hair in a very long ponytail. His skin was as dark as charcoal, and honestly, he wasn't a young man by any means, but he moved like one. He was like a gigantic V, a huge upper body that you could see through his coat, and when he removed his coat, yeah, that guy was built. This was Grandmaster Chief Blackhawk SanCarlos. We all bowed to him and general introductions were made. And while the testing students were getting prepped, I approached him, bowed, and introduced myself. He smiled and said, "Oh yeah, that was you." Now, I didn't know what he meant. And I think he saw the puzzlement on my face and said, "I was aware of you as soon as I hit those steps outside." I was like, "What?" And he turned and walked and took his place behind the table. And one of the students that came with him approached me laughing, and he said, when we were coming inside, Grandmaster turned to me and said, in that voice, "The force is strong in this one." He laughed, shook my hand. I'm like, okay. And we both took our places on the testing board. That was my introduction to Grandmaster Chief Blackhawk SanCarlos. Now, I never really did any formal training with Chief Blackhawk, but man, we had a lot of great talks. He always seemed to have some great advice, and he always had some incredible stories. Oh yeah. Later on, I'll tell you about my time my student Rich and I visited Chief at his house. Oh yeah, that was something else. One of my regrets, though, one of my bigger regrets is the fact that I never had the opportunity to do one of the projects or any of the projects that I had discussed with Chief Blackhawk, but sometimes life in the universe works that way. Grandmaster Chief Blackhawk SanCarlos, a warrior of bronze and fire.